So we were writing an algorithm and drawing a flowchart to calculate the sum of the digits of a number. So it involves only 3 steps that you have to remember. First find the remainder, then find the quotient, then accumulate in the sum variable sum. Accumulate the remainder in the sum variable. Okay. So these 3 steps you have to remember. Only thing which you need to know to write this program is remainder, finding remainder, that is using the mode operator, then finding the quotient using the division operator, and finding the sum of the remainders of each step in a variable called sum. At last, we'll be printing the sum. We already started writing the program, but I closed, I think. We will do it from the beginning, or we'll see. I closed. What was the name? Okay. So we will start from the beginning itself. I didn't save, I think. Then first line will be void main. It's a very small program. So we are declaring a variable called integer n in order to accept the number whose digits have to be summed up. So to find the sum of the digits and which number we are giving, that we are accepting in the variable called n. Then we are using a variable called sum. Now then and there, whatever variables we are using, we will declare. Any other variable? Only sum, and then our remainder is a right remainder. We can use either rem, or if you want to use only r, you can use any variable name, but you should follow the rules of the variable name or identifier name. Now we are asking the user to enter the number. You know which number, the number for which we are going to find the sum of the digits. We are getting in the variable called n. The format specifier is %d. All are listening, right? So we accepted in the variable called n. Now what we are going to do, we will see the algorithm, and right. So we started, got the input n. We are able to see, right? And then we are going to repeat the step 5 if n is not equal to 0. We are going to repeat the step 5 if n is not equal to 0. Step 5 is consisting of 3 steps, right? So what we are going to do now, we are going to, in order to repeat or to loop through a particular block of statement, what we have to do, we will be using a while with the condition while n is not equal to 0. We are going to execute this set of statements. What are the statements which has to be executed? What are the statements? If anyone remember, you tell. What are the statements? All are sitting quietly. Did I mute?
Hello.
Somebody tell now who. What will be the first step? Who is talking? Or you all message in the chat box. 3 steps. I am showing here now. You message in the chat box. I'll. What are the 3 steps which has to be repeated? If while remainder. Anyway, you type it.
Remainder is equals to.
Remainder equal to. How we will get
n mod 10.
Okay, good. That is the first step. Then second is.
Then n is equals to.
Equals
N by 10.
Okay.
Then third statement, sum is equals to sum plus remainder.
Okay. Okay. Only these 3 steps we need to have in the while. Okay. Now what we have to do, this will be repeated how many times, you know, it will be repeated until n is not, n is equal to 0. When it is equal to 0, it will come out. Now in the variable called sum, we will have our sum of the digits. So we have to print it, right? The sum of the digits is, I'm making it very simple because the variable name, you know, we are giving here. Now to hold the screen, we have to use get ch. To clear the screen, we have to give clear screen, right? We'll see whether it is proper. What is minus n? What happened now? What is sum equal to sum plus remainder? Did I? That. When I'm typing, if I'm typing some error, you should tell me. I had given ampersand, nobody noticed. Huh? That's why that error came. Is it correct? All are there, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in full screen, no, I will not understand whether, because of Turbo C, I will not able to see whether all are there. You're getting any doubts you have? If anyone is having doubts, you let me know. You can easily type, you know, this program. If you want, you can give colon. Okay. So this is the program. It's very easy, I believe. If this you should execute and send me. Okay. So any number 1, 2, 3, 4. So what will be the sum? Tell me. So 6, 7, 8, 10, right?
10.
Correct. So it is working fine. You should try all the possible numbers and see whether it is working. It is clear, no? Very easy, right? This program. I will be giving for theory exam also. This program. Because they used to ask in the university question paper. Can I move to the next topic? If you have any doubts, let me know. This you have to, don't take screenshot. All are taking screenshot and typing, I know. All these should be there. And even one example with manually how you are doing that, no? With one example you have to do. When you are typing the program, I need one more thing. When you're sending the screenshot, especially for your lab programs, you should be giving one printf statement giving your name. So this is your program, means you don't have registration number, right? So that number, until it come, you have to give your name. Is it clear? Using a printf statement, give your name. And all the lab programs you should be keeping in a folder. As I had told you, if you have any doubts how to create any a folder and save all your C programs, I will show you. Listen here, and I will be checking whether this folder is having all your programs when you are executing or when you are sharing your screen. So you have to go to C drive. All are listening, right? 37 participants are there. In C drive, go to Turbo C, inside bin, create a folder. Suppose with your name, you have to create a folder. Are you getting? So if you want to give just your name, that is enough. If you're like suppose, if you're only your name you give, second name is not required because. Then after creation of the folder, whenever now you're going to save, or when you are creating a new file, I usually receive all the programs without saving. No name.cpp. Now onwards, if I see such programs which is not saved, I will not correct errors, because after correcting, you are not saving the program. You are just running the program. So whatever changes we made, no, now it will not come because we didn't close the Turbo C. 1 second. After making the changes, if you are not saving the changes, then it is of no use. Then again, I should repeat all the errors. How much time I'm wasting, you know? And then if you are not saving it properly, you know, see, you are able to see, right? My folder, Benita. I had once shown for Harsha also. Like, you should select your folder. Are you able to see? Just reply. All are there.
Yes, ma'am.
So in your system, you should be creating a folder with your name. Then double click on it or click on OK. Then it will be saving inside that. Okay. Then give the name as program 1A. So the first program of part A, you should be naming it as program 1A, and don't give .cpp. If you are giving CPP, no problem. But the only thing is you have to include conio.h. Understood? Otherwise, it will be showing that stdio dot this clear screen and get ch. No, it will be showing it is not there. So inside your named folder, all the program part A, part B programs should be saved. Then only we will be able to. So when as soon as when you are running the program, no, you have to give one more statement, that is printf. Yesterday I was not asking. Give anyway in employee name it is coming. No, your name will be there. You can take screenshot and save. So when you are writing your fare record, you have to paste the output screenshot also. So after running it, you have to take the screenshot and keep it ready in a folder. So don't keep for the last day, when you are asked to submit the fare record. But I'm telling you because everything at the end, if you do know, it will be difficult for you. That's why one by one program, when you execute, keep it in the folder. Now, shall I move to the next topic? Is it okay, this topic? I don't want to go in a hurry. Until you get, I'm ready to type also. Do you want me to type the program one more time? All are so quiet today. Okay.
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'll move to the next one. If like some students I have identified, those who are not executing any of the programs, I will be asking them to join again during whenever classes are not there. And I will see all the programs executed. I should see their laptop or share. You should share the laptop, or if you have a mobile also, I'll help you out. Don't think that ma'am, I don't know, so I'm first time doing, so I don't know to open also Turbo C. That and all, I will help you out. Okay, I'm not going to make fun of you if you are not getting anything. I am ready to help you. If you are asking, I'm very much happy to help you out. If you are not asking how, I will I will understand. Now, as I'm not meeting you people, that is a problem. Okay, now we will move to the next problem. That is reverse of digits. So we will see how to reverse the digits of the number 427. So the other thing, the problem was in order to find the sum of the digits. This is to reverse the digits of 427. Same number we are going to reverse now. We had just found the sum of the digits. So when you reverse 427, what will be the number which you will be getting? Gautam, Anjana. Gautam. There are only 38 participants today. What will be the number? Okay, you can message in the chat box also. Gautam, you should answer when I am asking at least. Kaushik, message in the chat box. The number what you will be getting. Okay, so you will be getting the number as 724. So this will be the reverse of the number 427. So now we will see how to do this using a C program. So in order to print the reverse of the digits, what is the first thing we want? We want to extract the digits of 427. We need it as 7 724. Then only we can print it as 724, right? We have to split the digits one by one, 4 to 7, and then print it in the reverse order. So we need to separate the digits and accumulate the digits in the reverse order in a variable, and then we can easily print in the reverse order. So you know how to separate the digits. In the last problem, we had separated the digits of the number. So tell me, what is the method used to separate the last digit or to get the last digit of the number 427? Message in the chat box. How to get the last digit? What is the last digit of our number? Last digit is 7, right? How to get the last digit of 427? Meenakshi message. No one is getting. So last program, what you were doing? Tejaswini, what 424? How to get the last digit of 427? What is the last digit of 427? No one is listening. Last digit of 427. Anina, it is wrong. How to get the last digit? Last digit is 7. How to get the last digit of 427? Using mode operator. So what you were doing last problem also, you were extracting the last digit, right? Why no one is getting? Here in this example, one second, it went so far. One second. To get the last digit, what you were doing in this problem? Which is the last digit of 723? It is 3, right? So in order to get the last digit, what you were doing? 723 mode 10. If you find the mode with the 10, you will get the last digit extracted. I told also, no, we can split this number into 2. If you find the mode value, you will be getting the last digit. And if you find the quotient, you will be getting the other 2, the first 2 digit, right? First 2 digit. You separate it into 2. In the next step, what will happen? Again, the number is 72. And if you are finding mode, you will be able to extract the last digit, which is 2. And when you find the quotient, you will be getting the other part, whichever is remaining. Like that we were doing, no. So what happened now? We are not answering. That's what I'm asking you. If you didn't understand, I'll repeat it once again. So 427 is a number, means if you find mode with 10, you will be able to extract the last digit. And the division will be giving you the remaining number, that is 42. Again, to this, we are giving 42 as a number. So when we find mode, what will happen? We will be getting the last digit, which is 2. When you find the quotient, you will be getting the other part, which is the remaining part. If you have only 2 digits, the first digit will be there. Okay. Now you should remember this concept. To extract the last digit, you should be using the remainder or the mode operator. Understood? And then to store the remaining parts, you can find the quotient or the division operator. So again, for finding the reverse of the digits also, these steps are almost the same. The last step is just a small difference. First step is find the remainder. Second step is find the quotient and update the value of n. And in the third step, instead of like last time we had to use a variable called sum, here we are using a variable called reverse. We are using a variable called reverse. For in the reverse variable, we are multiplying the previous value of reverse with the 10 and then adding the remainder. So don't get scared of these 3 steps. You know, these 2 steps are the same, right? First 2 steps are same, only the third step is different. In third step, in the previous problem, we were doing sum equal to sum plus remainder. Here, instead of sum plus remainder, we are having reverse into 10 plus remainder. Got it? So yeah, that is for easiness, I had kept it like this. The steps are also same, only I'm telling in order to understand. No? And when we compare and study for the previous one, no, we were just accumulating in a variable called sum by adding up the remainder to the previous value of sum. Here we are adding up the remainder, but we are multiplying the previous value of reverse with the 10. Got it? So if the number is 427, we are using a variable in this problem. We are using a variable called reverse, which we are initializing it to 0. Now, what is the number to be reversed? The number to be reversed is 427. That is given as n, 427. And then we are initializing reverse equal to 0. So what will be the first step? Remainder equal to n mod 10. What is n value in this first step? 427. So when we find mod, we will be able to extract the last digit. What is the last digit? 7. Now what will be the next step? What will be the next step? We will be finding the quotient. Same number. For the first step, we are using only 427. Understood? 427 divided by 10 will be giving you the other two numbers which are remaining. So remainder will be extracting only the last digit. So you just cut and see. Whatever is remaining from the beginning, it will be the quotient. So if you have any doubts, you can do division and then try out. Okay, 427 if you divide by 10, what will be the answer? What will be the remainder and what will be the quotient? That you have to check. Okay, if you have any doubt. So you can divide and see this remainder and division. That quotient will be giving you the quotient and the remainder, right? Mod value will be giving you the remainder and division operator will be giving you the quotient. That's all. So if you divide 427, then what you will be getting? So you will be getting 40. So it will be like a remainder for this step is 2 and we bring out 7. Again, how many times it will go? It will go 2 times, right? So we wrote 20 and the remainder will be 7. This is 7. Okay. So the remainder will be 7. So in this step, remainder we are getting as 7 and the quotient we are getting as 42. That's all. That is what I have written over here, mod value and the division. Now what is the next step? Next step is reverse equal to reverse, the variable reverse. Any name you can use, R or any variable. I am just using reverse. So a reverse is a variable in which I'll be storing the reverse of 427. So reverse, if initially the value will be 0. In this step, the reverse value will be 0. 0 into 10 plus remainder. So when we multiply reverse, that is 0 into 10 means 0. And again, plus remainder. Remainder is what? So in this step, I have substituted 0 multiplied by 10 plus 7 because we got the remainder as 7. So what will be the value of reverse now? What will be the value of reverse after this step? 7. Now we are moving on to the next step. So next problem I will be asking you. So for the next step, what will be the value of n? What will be the value of n? N value will be? Tell me what will be the value of n for the next step?
42.
And then reverse will be? What is
7.
7. Okay. So we are moving on to the next step. We will be having the n value as 42, reverse equal to 7. What will be the first step now? Remainder equal to n mod 10. N value is 42. So we are finding 42 mod 10. You just make a cut like after the first, last digit. So you will be getting the remainder part and the quotient part. Quotient part will be taken as the n value, right? So you will be getting the terms. So here n equal to 42 by 10, that is 4. And reverse, what is reverse now? Current value of reverse is 7. So you should substitute here
72.
7 into 10 plus 2, that is 72, right? You got the halfway we have reached. Now to the next step, you are carrying the current value of n. What is the current value of n? Current value of n is 4. And what is the current value of reverse? Current value of reverse is 72. Good. So you are again finding the remainder. Remainder equal to n mod 10 equal to 4. And we are finding n by 10 equal to 0. Because how to divide n by 10? You know, right? I will just show if you didn't understand that. When you divide a number by 10, if you are not So here, what is the step? 4 divided by 10. This, somebody, they used to get doubt. So how many times 10 will go in 4? It will not go one time, right? It will not go one time. So it will go only 0 time. So 10 into 0 is 0, right? So what will be the remainder? Remainder will be 4. Understood? Like this, we will be getting the remainder. So this is remainder. And this is the quotient, right? Quotient we are giving into n, right? We are giving the quotient into n. N is 0 now. So we cannot go forward because in while loop we'll be checking or we'll be repeating these steps until n is not equal to 0. Now reverse is what? Reverse is the same thing, no? Reverse into 10. The previous value of reverse is 72. 72 multiplied by 10 is 720 plus 4 is 724. Correct, no? It is a reverse of 427. So now in the same program what you have done, it's very easy. So now do for 659. So tell me, Kaushik, tell me what will be the reverse of 659? What will be the reverse of 659? Kaushik, are you there?
956.
Okay. 956, right? Okay. So what will be the first step now? How to extract 9? What will be the first step? How to extract 9? Kaushik. Are you there? Sebastian.
From 659 per mod 10.
How to
659 mod 10.
659 mod 10.
Mod
Okay.
10.
Then you will be getting what? What will be the variable which will be used for? So the steps I can keep it for you. Okay.
9.
Okay. So you will be getting 9 in, and we are storing in a variable called, which variable we are storing the remainder? Variable in a the variable name for storing remainder, REM. Got it? And we will be using the variable called REM. Okay. So you do it in your notebook also. And in the next step, to get the other 2 digits, which is remaining, that is, so we have done now this mode value. So you got n in the variable called REM and 65 in a variable called n, right? So we will see how it is done. We found the remainder, and REM is having the value 9 and n is having the value 65. So we gave a split or we extracted the last digit. Now reverse equal to, what is the current value of reverse? Reverse is 0. 0 multiplied by 10 plus 9. So you do these steps only I need in your book, okay? Manually how you are reversing. Now for reverse, what are the 2 values which we are taking to the next next step? N value under reverse, right? Current n value is 65. Current reverse value is 9. So we are
9.
taking it to the next step. Now what we will do? We will find the mode. Then we will be able to extract 5. And n value will become 6. Got it? So now we are finding reverse. Reverse is n multiplied by 10 in n multiplied by 10. The current value of 9 is multiplied with the 10 plus 5. Then it becomes 95. Now what will be the next value of 9 taken to the next step? What will be the value of 9 taken to the next step? N value will be 6 and the reverse will be 95. So in this step again we are finding the remainder of 6. So we will be getting remainder as 6. 6 mod 10 will be giving you remainder 6. And then we are finding 6 by 10. That is quotient will be 0. You know how to find, right? 6 divided by 10. Quotient is 0. Now in the last step, the reverse value, current value of reverse is 95, right? 95 multiplied by 10 plus 6. You will be getting 956. Okay. So tell me, what are the steps for writing the algorithm? Now we are going to write the algorithm. So what should be the first thing? You will be writing the aim of the algorithm to reverse a number. What is the expected input? We are expecting a number for which we have to find the reverse of the digits. Output will be the reverse or the number written in the reverse order. So what will be the first thing? We will be starting and then getting the input. We will be accepting input from the user. And then we are initializing a variable. There it was remainder. I'm just using reverse, okay, instead of sum, instead of sum, I'm using a variable called reverse because it is a reverse of a number. Any variable name you can use. Now we are going to start a repeat statement. Repeat step 5. Step 5 is having 3 statements until n is not equal to 0. If it is equal to 0, it should not execute this step 5. After that, if it is equal to 0, then it has to come out of step 5. It should not go to step 5. It should move to step 6 and then end. So you see, only one small difference is there. Instead of sum equal to sum plus remainder, here it is that program and this program I'm telling. It is reverse multiplied by 10. That is, you are multiplying reverse, the current value of reverse by 10 plus remainder. Got it? Flowchart also, I need to change only that, no? Remainder we are finding in a variable called rem, and n value we are in each step we are updating, and then we are finding the reverse as reverse multiplied by 10 plus remainder. So it's very easy. Now we are going to type the program in Turbo C. So these two programs I should see the see executed. So I am going to save. Like as I told, I'll save it in the folder. You should do like that because I have many folders over here. This is which program it is, reverse, right? Lab programs, you should name it properly with a number, program 1B, like that. Okay. You should, along with me, just tell. Then only I will get to know whether all are listening or not. Anybody? Gautam. Which Gautam is it? Gautam Manjunath. Tell me what should be the next step. Gautam. Tell me what should be the next step. See the algorithm. Correct. Int, no, we are going to declare the variable so that we can use it. What are n we are going to use. Then what is the other variable name? We are using remainder and then reverse, right? These three. If you want to initialize, you can initialize it as 0. Initialize means give the first value. We are making it as 0. Now what should be the next step? We are going to get an input, right? Input n. So we are going to ask the user to enter. So how to ask the user to enter? Enter the number. Enter the number if you want to reverse. Sorry?
Include spelling.
Good. Like that you should. CLU. Otherwise errors will come. Scanf. So here we are accepting as an integer. So we are giving %d. Then what we should give now? Which variable?
Ampersand.
Ampersand.
ma'am.
Now here what we are going to do now, we already accepted. What should be the next step? Initializing of reverse variable that we already did while declaring itself. Now we are going to that while loop, repeat step. So in order to repeat, we are using while loop. You can use do while and all. Later we will see that. So we at present has studied only while loop. So I am doing all programs with the while loop. N is not equal to 0. These statements should be executed. If n is not equal to 0, this statement has to be executed. What are the statements? We are finding remainder equal to n mod 10. Then n equal to, we are updating an value by divide by 10. Better to
10.
put space, when you are writing equations. Then after that, we are going to use the variable called reverse, right? Reverse equal to each time we are going to update the value of reverse. Reverse multiplied by 10 plus we are adding the
Reminder.
That's all. Only these 3 steps are the very easy program. So after this value, so this will be executed until n is not equal to 0. After that, we will be printing what the reverse of the number is. Wherever we want the reverse to be printed, we will give %d, right? After this, we will be giving the value reverse, another variable called reverse. Okay. So now what extra things we have to add? Get ch to hold the screen. Okay. Then we will be giving the clear screen. CLR is here. Any other errors? When I am typing, I will not just see. Okay. Correct, no? Okay. No errors. We are going to enter what 564. 465. Correct. Our program is correct. You can check with any other number also. If I give 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. This is easy, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So these 2 programs you should execute and send me. Okay. This will be asked also. All should make
Okay,
sure that I am typing, so I am giving you enough time also to type. Why you are not sending others? No, like I have updated in my book. I will send you the screenshot today. According to my list, Bharat Kumar J, Deepak Paisya, and then Gautam, Manjunath, Imtiaz. Some had executed at least 1 program. Sahana 1 program. Sebastian, like some, I think he might have sent to Sabida ma'am. Giolas, Kirti, Kenneth. Sebastian, you executed both? That one correction I had told, I think.
Yeah, mama, execute.
Done, no? Ken Edwin, Kaushik, Lavanya, Likshit. They didn't even execute 1 program. This Giolas, Kirti, Ken Edwin. I have the list. Navya. Sachin had tried, but after that, execution is not complete. Sangvi, Sudhir, Sujay, Tejaswini, Uzair Ahmad. So if you are not executing, then what I should do? If you try once and Uzair, I have never seen anything from your side. Are you here today? I think morning he was not there.
Ma'am, I sent you WhatsApp.
You have sent me. Who is it? I can't see.